Good day and welcome to a blooper episode of My Bad Poetry. Dave and I couldn't connect this week, so we got to go to the cutting room floor and Frankenstein a show of silly talent, tangents, laughs, and unfortunate interruptions. Otherwise, we are truly grateful to be a small part of your week, and we hope you have been enjoying season 6 so far with all of these amazing guests, incredible insights, and lots of bad poetry. Remember, you don't have to be an accomplished published poet to come on our little show. All you need are failed poems from the past that make for a great conversation. So if you or someone you know wants to come on the show, let that someone you know, and then let us know and reach out through our email, mybadpoetry.thepodcast@gmail.com, and we'll see if we can make it happen. And with that, enjoy the rest of the show.
Zeitgeist! Time Ghost!
There we go. Okay.
Oh my gosh, Aaron, I just realized that if I just shout random German words at you, you move on. This is great news for me.
I just don't know how to cut around it, so I leave some silence and I go around.
I was about to say a word, and instead a burp came out. I'm sorry.
We talk to real life humans sometimes.
I know.
How is that possible?
I don't know. I'm just now thinking I am so glad that has never happened when I'm like leading a worship service or something. Let us confess
pray.
Our faith using the words of the
Okay.
Oh, jeez.
How did Agnes receive this? Was this emailed? Was this printed? Was this?
I definitely printed it out. So
Okay.
let's go back, right? I know this is wild. This might, especially for like younger listeners, right?
Right.
2008. In 2008, when I submitted poems for the first time, right? And I'm not that old. I'm only 36, right? So like I'm not that, like, I'm pretty middle-aged. Like, you know, I've been I've been a poet since the turn of the century, you know what I mean? Like, you know, whatever. But, you know, so like it's, you know, I wasn't a poet in like the 90s, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Which typically what I'm about to say, I think people like associate with like the 90s, not like the early 2000s or late aughts, right?
Yeah.
But when I first submitted poems, I had to stuff all of them in envelopes and send them in the mail. I used a literal book, right? Like a physical book that just had that came out every year. I think it was called, man, this is gonna get me, Writer's
Almanac?
something, right? Writer's Almanac. That might have been it.
Okay.
And it was just a book of all the places in the US that published poetry.
Wow.
Or the Poet's Almanac or whatever. And I just went through and just, you know, I had like a professor who was like, these are good journals. I had like no experience, and I just I put them in the mail and stuffed them. So this was definitely printed out, because that was where I was in 2008, where I was like doing that. And it wasn't until like a little bit after 2010 that a lot of places started going full like online, which is cheaper. You know, you don't have to like go to the mailbox, like, you know, with the self-addressed stamped envelope and stuff. SASE, man. Like, oh, did you ever submit poems back in the day? Oh, SASEs were the bane of my existence.
Really?
Yeah, so you had to put your poems in this thing, right? Then you had to put an envelope with your address written on it with a little stamp so that they could send you the rejection letter in the mail.
Oh wow! You had to self-stamp your own rejection.
Yeah, well, because that's what I was getting to, right? And I was 20 writing poems with warning labels, right? Like they were
You could also get your accepted letter.
Acceptance, yeah.
Yeah, but
so I would be like by the mailbox like every day, you know, like, oh my God, is it here? And then, you know, and I say this, and in my head, I like go, oh, did I even have a home computer at that point? Yeah, like we all had laptops.
Yeah,
like
it
was still there. It's just, this is the way that people accepted like writing for like forever. And so I definitely printed this out. I'm pretty sure like I folded it in a nice way to like hand to her as a gift. Now the question is, and I know this is what you must be thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Did I give her something else as a gift for the 6 month
6 months,
anniversary?
yeah.
I don't know. I
Oh.
can't remember.
Okay, so my question is, what was that about? Is that my phone? Something feels like
That's
it's
your phone,
ringing.
Aaron.
Yeah. Oh.
Dear listeners,
No,
this podcast is
it's
brought
Abby's
to you by.
phone.
Dear listeners, this podcast is brought to you by spouses' phones.
Sorry
Why do you
about
have
that.
your spouse's phone?
This is a shared like office space in our room. She works primarily from home, and so anyway, I kicked her out of this space for this. But
You're a monster.
I am.
Thanks, Abby.
Yeah. Okay, maybe 20s. Was this just no? Never mind. I was gonna say, is this like a Beauty and the Beast, where it's like sympathy for the Beast? No.
Isn't Beauty and the Beast all about sympathy for the beast?
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm
disagree
saying.
with that one, because he was only turned into a beast because he was an asshole to like an old
Right?
woman.
Well, yeah, that's
But
true.
he was
Am I allowed to swear on
a child.
this?
Yeah.
Was he a child?
You're good.
Well, yeah. If you do the math, I think he's 13.
Oh.
No,
Okay.
he's 11.
Oh,
Have you ever
okay.
met an 11-year-old who would be kind to like a random
anyone?
stranger?
At the door.
That's true.
Yeah.
To a parent, to anything.
And then,
Aw.
okay, and then why? I know this has been done to death, but then why are all the servants also punished? Why are they turned into stuff?
Because it's an ancient story and servants weren't seen as people because, patriarchy and white supremacy. Woo!
What's the Minotaur myth about? I'm curious. Like, what was the kind of the ethos around the Minotaur? What was going on there? What's the theory behind why the Minotaur story exists?
Oh.
Because there was a cowman who lived in a labyrinth. What kind of question was that?
Right, I forgot. This is historical. Okay, got it.
Duh. If you watch the 3rd season of Ancient Aliens, you will learn so much.
Is this on the History Channel?
Yeah, that's right. And moving on.
Oh gosh. What? No. So Aaron, in the Baghdad House of Wisdom, I believe it's around the 8th century AD is when algebra was first formulated by Muslim scholars who created math with numbers, although they weren't using Arabic numerals, even though we call them Arabic numerals, because Arabic numerals actually come from India. And we just call them Arabic numerals because of, white supremacy and racism. So
I think if I may speak for our guest, I think he was not going the route of parsing interreligious dialogue. I think he was trying to say that there are
That
some
math
people
sucks.
who put as much faith in mathematic certainties as they do a god.
I really love
Okay.
the amount of faith that you put in the writer of this poem.
My favorite page in the Sky Mall magazines were those fantasy jewelry and sword pages. Do you remember those? It'd be about the middle of the Sky Mall book, and it'd be like, yeah, you can get the 3 rings given to the elves, and here's the pennant given to Frodo. So
I don't know what is the Sky Mall book? What is this? I'm not familiar.
oh, Sky Mall was a catalog magazine that was only found in airplanes. And so the few times that we splurged and didn't do the 16-hour drive,
Right.
to Minnesota, I would look through the entire Sky Mall magazine as my entertainment. So
Could you buy those things on the plane?
it was kind of like a call. Like you would take the number down, and
Okay.
I think you could order like you would from a what the TV channel where you
Oh, like a
call.
Like the home
QVC.
shopping
Yeah, like a
network?
QVC. Yeah, I think it was more like you called in and you said, "I want 3B
Okay.
sent here."
See, but I just love that as an idea of rather than like you buy it on the plane and get it as you step off. So they take away anything that's over 4 fluid ounces of a liquid, but then you walk off and get a sword.
I guess I don't know why I asked that. Of course you can't order a sword.
Just have like Gimli's axe, just like
Perfectly normal thing to buy.
Hi.
I gotta go blow my nose.
Sure.
I am getting gross.
I'm gonna
over
get
here.
her coffee
Sorry.
up here so she won't whine. Hi. Yeah. Did mom go on the bike? Did mom go on the bike and that's why you're whining? You're like, I have no friends. I love you. Gross. Oh my gosh. Dave, I could hear that.
Well, thank God you can't feel it, because that was bad.
Well, I'm kind of tempted to leave that in because the next one here is called.
Also makes people want to vomit?
No. It has to do with the nose. It's fun. I'm gonna look up a quick poem here. Should I look for one that's?
What's the, Oh, crap. No, that's a short story, too, isn't it? The Edgar Allan Poe, Red, what is it? The Red Mask of Death?
Yes, that wrecked me.
That was a cool story.
I was terrified about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see here. I am looking up.
Please leave this in, Aaron.
It's
Please leave in your random scatting.
I can hardly call it that. But it might be closer to scatological in its
When I was in college, I was in a vocal jazz group, and they made us do scat. Mm-hmm. And, like, some of the people in the group really knew what they were doing, and it sounded great. And then I remember the director pointing at me, being like, Dave, here's your 8 bars. And I'm like, ba, 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 da, do, ba, da. And then for the concert, most of the people did some scatting, and he never pointed to me for some reason. Oh,
You should have pulled out your like best In Sync does Tarzan. Skibbity dabba doobadoo sabba wap bop wap bow.
thank you, Rosie O'Donnell.
Yeah. So
This really fell apart, Aaron.
it did. It did. I was thinking I'd have a concise thing to edit, and now I will again be.
We've been recording for about 40 minutes, and you have about 3.5 minutes of usable content.
That's our show. Oh, I need a final.
Yeah, we need to end with the words of a true poet, you dingus.
Thank you. This was fun. We should do like a Shel Silverstein or something for.
Ooh, that'd be I was gonna say that it had some Dr. Seussy.
Yeah.
Just the da 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 da.
Yeah.
And the real obvious on the nose rhymes.
Mm-hmm. Let's see here. My gosh, dog.
What is your dog's name?
Tallulah.
I I was second guessing myself because all I could think of was Cool Runnings.
Yeah, I know. Okay, so. Perfect. Okay. We're gonna end these. We're gonna end this week with the words. My voice cracked, and I didn't like it.
No, I could tell.